Top of the morning to ya! This is my favorite baby step, second favorite baby step of all. Baby step number 3, save up 3 to 6 months in your real emergency fund. This was the game changer for my life. This is where everything turned and made a difference. My facilitator for Financial Peace University said, when you have your emergency fund in place and you don't like your job, you can go in and say, hey, I quit. Leah and I were on vacation, and we were just having a blast with the family. One of the first vacations where I actually took a vacation. And I looked at her, and I said, do you remember what Jonathan said? Jonathan was our facilitator for Financial Peace University. He said, when you have your emergency fund in place, you can quit your job. Wasn't the best advice at the time, but it made a big difference in us, in our abundance, in our life. And she said, I don't know. And we slept on it for a couple days on the vacation. And when we got back from vacation, I went and I told the owner, hey, I'm leaving in 1 month. And then I'm done. We got into some negotiations on staying and what that would look like. And nothing came. It was great. It was awesome. And it was peaceful. We had 3 to 6 months in our emergency fund. So I had 3 to 6 months to find and do and build what was next. So baby step 3 is to build your 3 to 6 month emergency fund. And the way you do this, you got to figure out first, what are your base expenses? And if you've been budgeting and started your budget, you have a good idea for that. I find that when you do budgeting, I'll do another video on this later, that you don't know it all until about 18 months into it, because you get those insurance bills every 6 months, those annual bills that happen every year. So after about 18 months, you hit all of those a couple of times and you kind of know everything that's going on. For your emergency fund, you get the base expenses. What can we eat on? If we eat beans and rice and whatever. What is our house payment or our rent? What is our car? There is no car payment. You paid that off. That's baby step 2. What is our utilities? What is our phone? What are our base bottom costs for a month? And then that includes some sinking funds. And we'll talk about that later when we get into budgeting. Saving up for those 6-month and annual expenses. That's a sinking fund. So what are our base expenses? And then we multiply that by 3 or 6 months. Ours is about 5 or 6 months, just because I like that piece. One of the challenges with the emergency fund, 3 to 6 month emergency fund, this needs to be put somewhere where you can get it, but not too easily, because it's only there for emergencies. So baby step 1, $1,000 starter emergency fund. Baby step 2, pay off all your debt using the debt snowball. And baby step 3 is build a 3 to 6 month emergency fund. And this is just like game changing. It's freeing, it's happy, it's, I've got it made. I can do this. I think you heard the story before where I was driving to that job that I quit, and I was driving from Aurora all the way across Denver, almost to Golden, and back every day. Some days I could do it in 40 minutes. Some days I could do it in 2.5 hours. It was horrible. And then the Jeep started axles having problems and stuff, and it's kind of an old car. We still have it because we revived it after a season. But we were able with that, and this isn't recommended, with that emergency fund to go out and buy a little super efficient gas car, a little Fiat, manual speed, light, 30 or 50 miles to the hour. I don't remember what it was, but it was a big improvement, and it was solid, except in the snow. For that commuting season, we had a dependable car. And you know what? I don't think it was 1 year, 18 months later, we sold that same car for the same price as we bought it for. So it served its purpose, and then we went back and fixed up the Jeep and got it going again. If we didn't have that emergency fund, we couldn't have done that. and we just flat out, here's cash. Here's $7,600 in cash to buy a car. And then we sold it for $7,500 not too long after that. I even put a big dent in it, driving it up in the mountains. So that big emergency fund, if you quit your job, you get stuck in, have problems, you get 6 months to sort it out, 3 months to sort it out, with no pressure, no disruption of your peace. And this sets the stage for baby steps 4, 5, 6, and 7. Step 4 is investing in your retirement. Step 5 is investing in your kids' college. Step 6 is paying off the house. And I told you this one is my second favorite, baby step 3. My top favorite is baby step 7, and that is build wealth and live generously. Build wealth, leave a legacy, do something different. So take that mentality you took on baby step 1, and now you put it into action. You take all that money, remember the debt snowball? If you ran through the debt snowball, you've been saving up this chunk of cash, or not saving up, assigning this chunk of cash to pay off your debts, to pay down your debts. Now that they're all gone except for your house, you use that whole chunk of cash to start building up this emergency fund until you have 3 to 6 months set aside. You have complete peace that everything's okay. And it's not that little dog in the fire with all the fires around him where everything's okay. It's everything really is okay. You're using your money the way God intended. So, do it. Do it now. If you're on baby step 1, get that $1,000 emergency fund. If you're paying off debt, learn the debt snowball. Check out that video. If you're on this one, fill up that emergency fund to give you peace. Next time, we'll talk about baby steps 4 and 5, maybe together, maybe separate. We'll see. You be blessed.